Hi, this is Biff Byford from Saxon. You're listening to We Go to 11 and Beyond. Yeah.
Radio Amor.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
All right, Biff. So Saxon has a new record, Hellfire and Damnation. Tell us a little bit about the significance of the title, because there is a title track for that as well.
There is, yeah. And the first track on the album, Prophecy, sort of explains what that track's about. It's about the fight between good and evil, that's been going on for thousands of years, apparently. But it's a prophecy. It's a bit like The Omen, when you watch the sort of horror films, The Omen, The Exorcist. It's a bit like that's what it's based on. But I suppose it's just about the fight between good and evil, right and wrong, dark and light, the dark side, the light side. That's what the song's about, really.
Right.
You have to make a choice which side to be on.
Right. And I mean, again, title track, of the album as well. And you put out a pretty cool video. So tell me a little bit about how there must have been a pretty decent budget for that one, huh?
Yeah, pretty decent budget. We shot it in an old monastery that's been decommissioned. That's the venue now. So they don't really have metal bands in there anymore. Have orchestras in there, but we commandeered it for a couple of days and shot it in the sort of what they call I think it's called I don't know what it's called actually, the bit where the altar was, the big bit in between it with all the architecture around it. The nave, I think it's called, the old nave. So yeah, it gave it that sort of religious overtone, and fire and brimstone, So yeah, we had good fun making that video. It was good fun. It was in Manchester, which is in sort of the middle of England,
Right. Is there a chance I know you did another video leading up to this one. Is there a chance there'll be a third?
Yeah, we're thinking of putting out Madam Guillotine, I think.
Oh, nice.
That's the plan because it seems to be a lot of people's favorite, that track. So
Yeah, right.
we may well pop another video, another single out
Right.
just before the tour starts in March. I think that's the plan.
Now with Saxon, you guys have, I was a fan of the earlier records and then kind of, I think, mid 80s kind of, I don't know what happened, but the grunge thing, I think, especially out in the Northwest, that became kind of our scene. And I kind of went away for a little bit, but then came back and, in the 2000s, you guys have been consistently putting out solid metal records. What do you attribute to that series of just, metal pummeling record after record? I think you do some modern, heavy, classic stuff, kind of like with Hellfire and Damnation.
Yeah, the new one's a bit of a monster album. It's a bit of a special, bit of a magical album, I think, the way it all came together. But yeah, we've consistently. We're songwriters basically, and we love writing heavy rock, heavy metal. That's what really, that's what turns us on. So we've been doing that, for the last, well, forever really, but definitely in the last 10 years we've been putting out some great stuff. I think the quality of the songs and the productions have been fantastic actually, and this one is probably the cream of the crop, I would think. So yeah, we're happy with where we are musically. Definitely, we found a unique niche that is Saxon, really.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to think back at the tipping point for me as far as Saxon. I think it might have been the Destiny record, unfortunately. But even going back and listening to that now, I think I have more appreciation for that and kind of where you guys were going with that.
Well, there was a new wave thing happening in America, and it was grunge, So it's just what it was, really. You got Nirvana, were probably leading it with Pearl Jam and a lot of other bands, because it became really massive in America. It was an American music influenced, by other things. So it was a big movement. I liked it, I liked a lot of the music. So
Yeah,
it just put bands like ourselves on the back burner for a while.
sure.
But we like the song, we never surrender.
Yeah, right, right.
We always keep going.
You know what I think was good is that a band like Saxon didn't try to put their own spin on that kind of sound, because I know there were a lot of bands that go, well, let's give this a try. I mean, even Kiss tried to do something that was similar to that, Seattle sound as far as a recording and stuff.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful when you have a big fan base, of hardcore followers, that you don't suddenly turn into, like, a sort of mixture of different styles. You have to kind of stay solid and loyal to your music, because people follow you, and they don't want you to suddenly turn into something else. They want you to be what you are, but they want you to be better on every album. That's what people want, and that's what we try to do.
Right, right. Back when you guys started out and you were part of the movement of the new wave of British heavy metal, I mean, did you know that was special at the time, or at what point did you realize, hey, we're part of something pretty cool here?
Well, we knew it was something was happening, obviously, but we didn't know when it started. It was like a press thing, a media thing that got hold, and snowballed. And we just went with it. I mean, it was Maiden, Leopard were the newer bands at that time. Diamond Head, obviously, and but a lot of bands, that didn't really break into the big time, but nevertheless were still fantastic bands. And yeah, we did realize something was happening. I mean, it's like America, we could feel something was happening there. I mean, when we played the Whiskey A Go Go, the famous one where Metallica supported us on their second show ever, that was a massive buzz, because we did 4 shows in 2 days, so it was a crazy time, to be there.
Right,
So yeah, we did know that the buzz was happening, definitely.
right.
It did feel fantastic.
Was Metallica one of those standout bands? Because I mean, I'm sure you had a lot of acts that were supporting Saxon at the time. Some of them went on to bigger and better, or some,
Yeah,
didn't so
definitely.
much.
It
Yeah,
does happen. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was their second gig, and I think Lars persuaded one of the girls that works in the whiskey to give them a show. So, I mean, that's why they were on. I mean, Brian tells me that they played 4 Diamond Head songs on that show. So, that's a pretty crazy thing there. It's a full circle thing there.
oh, for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, they were a good band. I remember watching a couple of tracks. They were a good band.
Yeah,
And you wouldn't have thought they were going to be, selling 40 million records with the Black Album.
right.
So, I didn't get into Sandman on that. They didn't play that. But yeah, I mean, they were a good band, definitely. Their second gig,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I mean, I didn't know it was their second gig. They only told me that later. You
Oh
know.
wow. Yeah, they certainly love their Diamond Head, that's for sure. And I'll ask you about Brian here
Yeah.
in a little bit. But you also have Andy Sneap back on board, which, tell us a little bit about why he's so instrumental in some of these modern day Saxon records and what he brings to
Well,
the table.
he's a big Saxon fan. He loves all that 80s metal. He loves Priest. That's why he plays with them. But he loves Priest, and done the last. I think he's done the last 5 albums. We've been working with him for about 10 years. So I think he only started doing Priest on their last album. But he's made some great albums for us. He's done some great albums for other people as well. So he's definitely on the ball when it comes to uh, doing a great mix for a band. but he's very selective though. He doesn't work with everybody. You
Right.
know, he has to like the band before he works with them. So he's not really money orientated in that respect.
Right.
You know what I mean? He likes working with bands that he likes the music of. So he has turned down quite a few bands, but I'm not telling you which ones. But
Right.
yeah, but he is great, Andy, and he is
Right.
he is good. He's got a great sense of humor, and we work well together. Me and Andy work well together, so
Right.
we can produce albums together. We trust each other. You know, if I'm recording guitars, he knows I'm going to do a good job, and vice versa.
Sure.
So it worked out. This album that he was doing, the Priest album, at the same time as we
Hmm.
started the Saxon album, so I had to take over and do some of the production work, but. It worked out great, actually. The album sounds.
Right.
I mean, sonically, the album sounds massive.
Oh yeah. Out of curiosity, I mean, did you guys have to work around Andy's schedule, or was he just immediately available when it came time to record this one?
Well, he was available, then he wasn't available, so we just started. We couldn't really wait. So I said, "Well, I'll do the drums. Make sure the drums are recorded, the bass and the guitars, and then when you're available, you're a vocal." But as it happened, I did the vocals at my studio as well. I
Right.
think from Judas Priest, he probably went to work with Accept. I think he put a couple of weeks in there.
Mm-hmm.
So his schedule was changing all over the place. But at the end of the day, the album is the proof of the pudding that something worked really great. Sounds brilliant.
Right. And I'm guess with yourself, I mean, I don't think even retirement's in your vocabulary, but does production, seem something you'd be interested in doing down the road with, new bands and stuff like that?
I mean, I could definitely do production. I think a lot of the production comes into the songwriting. Sort of arranging and things. That's my production sort of input with Saxon, and that's what it would be with other bands. Just making sure the tracks were like absolutely killer because you don't want to be. You don't want to be fooling yourself. If you're in a band, whether you're a new band or an old band, you've got to sit back and say, is this track great? You know, if I wrote this track in 1982, would I have liked it? That's the criteria I work to. And, if the answer is yes, then we're on to a winner. So, people have to be realistic and remember where they come from
Right.
and always have that, in your rear view mirror.
Right.
1980 is
Sure.
a time that made us big. So we always have to have that in the frame.
Hmm.
So it's like the intro with Blind Blessed. It's very 80s that
Right.
you know we could have done that on Strong Arm Blow quite easily. And gone into Heavy Metal Thunder. So it's a very 80s thing, which I love. It brings that spirit back a little bit. Yeah.
I'm thinking of that tour you guys did of North America with Priest and Uriah Heep. I mean, that was an excellent triple bill. And you guys are going to do it again with Uriah Heep. I know you're doing some of those triple bills in Europe too, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So how
Yeah.
exciting. I mean, that as fun as it was for the fans. I mean, from being one of the acts on that bill.
The one before COVID, you mean?
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. It was great actually. We loved it. And we always like touring with Priest. I mean, they're a great band, aren't they? And we're massive, massive Priest fans, and always have been, and always will be. So, for them to take us out with them in America was a great thing for us, and we really appreciate it. I mean, I like Nostradamus. I'm a Nostradamus believer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of people didn't really like that because I love it. That's great. I'm a big police
Right.
fan. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going out with Uriah Heep here in North America. So tell us
Yeah.
about how geeked you are about that, because that means more playtime for each band.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be great. It's a bit of a co-headliner. we'll be closing some shows and they'll be closing other shows. So yeah, it's good fun. So yeah, we get to play. I think we're both playing an hour, over an hour 30. So yeah, it'd
Wow.
be great. We're looking forward to it. They have some great music as well. So
Sure.
I mean, it's not very often you get to hear, Easy Living and Crusader on the same theatre.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. So that's something we have to look forward to here in the spring. I think you guys are doing that co-headlining in the U.S.
Yeah, we start in Florida, and I think it's April the 11th. I think something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, no, the 23rd actually. I think
Oh,
23rd
okay.
of April.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So I was going to ask you about Brian. So I mean, initially, he stepped in. I think he was doing some. Was it some festival shows or something like that? And really,
yeah,
the yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. Paul retired from
Hmm.
touring. He doesn't really like this heavy duty touring thing. Buses and planes and playing fast heavy metal tracks all the time. He just wants to chill and play the blues. Having said that, he did fly to Japan a couple of days after he retired,
Right.
but that's how Paul Quinn is, he's a bit nuts. But yeah, he's been talking about it for some time, really. So it wasn't a massive surprise, just a little bit of a surprise when he did it, the timing of it. But you got to go with him and follow his path, really. He's still connected to the band. If you like, he might write some songs with us on the next album. He
Right.
played a couple of solos on this album with us.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Brian stood in for the festivals. We just did a tour of Latin America a few weeks ago. So he did that as well. So I mean, the fans like him because he's a bit of a legend anyway. So people do know him. So it's a great. I think it was a perfect replacement for Paul. Actually, I don't think we could have picked a better guy to tell you the truth.
So, but no audition needed. I mean, it seemed like after you did the festival shows, you knew he was the guy, or did you know he was the guy from the get-go?
Well, we only asked one guy, and that was him. And while we were touring in the summer at festivals, we were writing and recording the album basically. I said to Brian, "Have you got any ideas in your back pocket?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got a few guitar riffs and things." And he sent me like, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs. And one of them was, I just thought that is absolutely brilliant guitar riff. Why aren't Diamond Head using that one? So I said, yeah, okay, we'll have that riff, yeah. And that one was Hellfire and Damnation. So it's a great guitar riff. So I don't know why it was in
Right,
his back pocket, but it was. And we're
nice.
really grateful because it's a killer track.
Right, right. So, okay, so that's how he found his way into the band. I mean,
Well,
I
he
l-
found his way into the writing part. Really, that's
right,
I mean, obviously he didn't write the lyrics and the titles. The guitar riff just inspired me to write Hellfire Damnation with him, and that's what we did.
right. Well, okay. Now, I look forward to seeing him in the lineup. I've not seen you guys perform live uh, with this current lineup, so I am a Diamond Head fan myself. So this will be exciting. All right, so we got the record, Hellfire Damnation. You got a video for the title track. Talked about Andy Sneap, and also, Brian and the upcoming tour in North America and the upcoming European tour with Priest, Saxon, and Uriah Heep. So,
Yeah,
uh, is there anything I missed, Biff?
I don't think you've missed a thing. I think you've got it all there. I think obviously we've created a monster album
Right,
like Frankenstein. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you've covered it all, mate. No problem at all.
all
Good.
right. Well, I,
So,
I have I have only one more question and then one request. One, I'll ask you the
right. Okay.
question. This is for We Go to 11, so it's like a Spinal Tap inspired uh channel. So
All right.
what I typically ask people, if we have enough time, I think we have a few moments left, is
Yeah.
do you have a particular Spinal Tap moment that has occurred to you that stands out?
Well, we all have Spinal Tap moments. Even people that aren't in rock and roll bands have them, don't they? People always, go through the wrong door or fall out the car, or they're all Spinal Tap moments, aren't they? It's a great scene. Yeah, I think one of the I think one of the ones that they used in the film that was probably ours was when the guitarist went down on his knees and couldn't get up. And I think that's probably from, I don't think it's from Paul Quinn, I think it's from the other guy, Graham, or the guitarist. But, they probably got that from us when the guy couldn't get up off the floor. His legs probably his legs weren't probably strong enough, and the rope crew had to come on and pull him up. But I don't think the rope crew pulled him. I think I pulled him up. But there's loads of them. We had one in South America recently where we just we got out the car, and there must have been about 800 fans there, all outside the venue, and the security people, got us out the van and rushed us into the venue, but they rushed us in the wrong door. We ended up rushing into a restaurant.
Oh no.
We obviously had to walk back out again, then rush
Geez.
rush through the right door. So you always have these Spinal Tap moments, definitely,
Right.
all the time. So
Yeah.
going through the wrong door, or getting lost in the venue, but
Right.
not too many really.
Sure.
We're a bit too experienced now, but back in the day, it was crazy.
Right.
But it used to happen all the time, the Spinal Tap moments, because you're so naive and didn't know what was happening. I think the
Right.
Spinal Tap, though, they're sort of quite arrogant and think they're really famous, but they're not. That's the twist, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like they turn up. There's no audience. And I mean, I watched it very early on. I think I went to one of the trial showings.
Oh wow.
Back in the day. So yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
It was a bit. It's based on American bands, really. It was very an American film.
Right.
So
Right.
we didn't really see any sort of English connection, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
But I mean, the old members of the band say that he traveled with us, but I never saw him.
Mm.
The bass player.
Right.
I didn't see him travel with us, but ex-members try to bull things up a little bit, don't they?
Right.
Gives them a little kudos, So
Sure.
yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much, Biff. We'll
No
get this
problem.
online, get the link. Hey, thank you so much,
Okay.
Biff. I hope to talk to you again down the way.
Yeah, definitely. Check
right.
us out live somewhere.
Yeah, I will for sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, mate. Okay,
Right.
thank
Take
you
care.
all. See you
Yep.
later. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.